It all started with a single unfollow, one quiet click that turned the internet upside down. Fans had seen celebrity breakups before, messy separations and cryptic posts. But this one felt different. When TeyanaTaylor unfollowed Iman Shumpert, people didn't just see a social media move. They saw the end of something they thought was unbreakable. A love story that had once inspired millions suddenly looked like it was cracking right before everyone's eyes. For years, Teyana and Iman were seen as that couple. Real love, real connection, real family. Their chemistry was undeniable. They laughed together, danced together, built a life and a brand that screamed loyalty and partnership. They were the ones who made love look easy in a world where everything is temporary. But lately, fans had started noticing little things. The energy between them was off. The smiles seemed forced. The once constant public affection had quietly faded into silence. Then came the unfollow. At first, some fans thought it was an accident, maybe just a glitch. But hours later, Teyana's post confirmed everything people had been speculating. She uploaded a new set of photos, looking stunning, confident, unapologetically herself. But what grabbed everyone's attention wasn't the pictures. It was the caption, "Sometimes peace looks like letting go." And right below that, a tag, AaronPierre. But not just any tag. She called him Daddy. The internet exploded. Within minutes, her comment section was on fire. Fans were confused, heartbroken, and divided. Some supported her, saying she deserved to be happy. Others accused her of being petty, of trying to humiliate Iman in public. But no one could deny it. That one post changed everything. People started digging. When did this connection with Aaron even start? Had Teyana and Iman officially split? Or was this something that had been happening behind the scenes? Rumors had already been swirling for months that Aaron and Teyana were working closely together on a new project. Their chemistry on set was described as intense, natural, and undeniably flirty. But no one thought it was more than professional. Until now. And for Iman, who had always been protective of his image and his family, this was more than just a public embarrassment. Insiders revealed he was blindsided. Apparently, Iman had no idea Teyana was going to make her relationship with Aaron public. The two had been trying to keep things civil during their ongoing separation. But that post, that single word, Daddy, shattered any calm that was left. Sources close to Iman said he was devastated. Not angry, at least not at first. Just heartbroken. He had been trying to focus on co-parenting, on healing privately. But now, the entire world was watching his pain unfold in real time. Fans started sending him screenshots, tagging him in comments, flooding his DMs with sympathy and anger. Meanwhile, Aaron stayed silent. No post, no comment, nothing. That silence only made things worse. Fans took it as confirmation that something deeper was going on. And then, people noticed something even more shocking. Aaron had been liking Teyana's old photos for months. Way before the world even knew they were spending time together. Pictures from her concerts, behind-the-scenes shots, even a few family posts where Iman was present. That discovery sparked an online war. Some fans claimed Teyana had emotionally moved on long before the breakup became public. Others defended her, saying she'd spent years being the glue in a relationship that had already fallen apart privately. Behind closed doors, though, things were reportedly tense. Iman wasn't just dealing with heartbreak. He was dealing with public humiliation. He had built his identity around being the loyal husband, the supportive father, the man who never folded under pressure. But now he was the one being pitied, the one being replaced on social media. According to one insider, Iman reached out to Teyana directly after the post went viral. The call didn't go well. It wasn't yelling or chaos. It was disappointment. She reportedly told him, "I've been quiet long enough. People need to know I've moved on." That statement hit hard, because for Iman, it wasn't just about her moving on. It was about her moving on publicly, before he'd even had the chance to breathe. As the hours passed, the internet became a battlefield. Hashtags like Teyana and Aaron and Poor Iman started trending. TikTok creators dissected every old video, every interview, every song lyric that might have hinted at this moment. One clip resurfaced where Teyana joked in an interview about needing a man who communicates with love. Fans took that as a jab at Iman, fueling even more speculation. But then came the twist. A voice note leaked online, allegedly from one of Teyana's close friends. In it, the person hinted that the relationship between Teyana and Iman had been over long before the internet knew. That they'd been living separate lives, co-parenting quietly, and that Teyana had simply decided to stop hiding. The voice said, "Teyana's just choosing herself this time. She's tired of pretending everything's perfect." That revelation changed the tone of the conversation. People began seeing her not as a villain, but as a woman finally reclaiming her peace after years of trying to make something work that just couldn't. But still, calling another man daddy while your ex-husband is still emotionally raw? That was the part people couldn't move past. Iman, on the other hand, stayed silent publicly. No response. No subtweets, no shade. Just silence. But that silence spoke volumes. Insiders claim he was focusing on his kids, trying to shield them from the chaos, especially since they were old enough to see what was happening online. He didn't want them caught in the crossfire of something that was supposed to be between adults. But it's hard to protect kids when the internet keeps reminding them of every new development. Reports say their oldest daughter asked Teyana why she unfollowed her dad. Imagine that conversation. A child trying to understand grown-up heartbreak that's been turned into entertainment for millions. Then another curveball hit. A video surfaced from behind the scenes of one of Teyana's recent events. She and Aaron were seen laughing together, holding hands, looking carefree. It wasn't scandalous, but it was enough to reignite the drama. The video was posted by someone in her team, probably unaware of how explosive it would become. But fans noticed something. Teyana's ring was gone. The comments flooded in. "She's done. She replaced him already." Poor Iman. Others, though, were proud. "She's glowing again. You can tell she's at peace. Let that woman be happy." And as the internet argued, Iman's lawyer dropped a quiet bombshell. Iman was allegedly considering filing a formal complaint regarding certain public actions that violate prior agreements. No details were given, but insiders believe it had to do with how Teyana introduced Aaron into the public narrative while their divorce wasn't fully settled. This wasn't just emotional anymore. It was legal. And that's when fans realized how serious this had become. People who had rooted for them, who'd watched their reality show, their love story, their red carpet appearances, were now watching them fight through lawyers and social media. The contrast was heartbreaking. Teyana, meanwhile, doubled down. She didn't delete the post. In fact, she followed it up with another story. A picture of her with her daughters captioned, "My peace. My reason." That seemed to be her message. She wasn't backing down, and she wasn't going to let public pressure dictate her choices anymore. Still, everyone could feel the sadness underneath it all. Even though she looked strong, confident, and free, the pain of losing something so deep doesn't disappear overnight, especially when that love had once been your entire world. Iman was seen a few days later leaving a restaurant with a close friend. Paparazzi caught him looking exhausted, like the weight of it all had finally settled in. When a reporter asked about Teyana, he simply said, "I wish her peace." That's it. Those words hit hard because they carried everything he couldn't say. The disappointment, the heartbreak, the acceptance. Fans flooded his comments with support, telling him to stay strong, that time would heal him. But others noticed something else. Even in his heartbreak, he never badmouthed her. That's the kind of respect that doesn't just fade. Still, there's no denying that something broke permanently between them. The unfollow was more than just digital. It was symbolic, a final goodbye. And while AaronPierre has yet to publicly address the situation, his silence continues to speak louder than words. He's now under intense scrutiny, with fans digging into his past relationships, trying to understand the man who seems to have stepped into one of the most talked-about breakups of the year. Some fans believe he's genuinely in love with Teyana, that their connection is real and deep. Others think it's temporary, a rebound, a moment of comfort in the middle of emotional chaos. But one thing's for sure, the world is watching. The more you look at it, the more it becomes clear that this isn't just a story about love and betrayal. It's about growth, identity, and the messiness of being human in the spotlight. Because no matter how rich or famous you are, heartbreak still hurts the same. Teyana's fans say she's evolving, finally choosing herself after years of sacrifice. Iman's supporters say he's the one who kept it real, who stayed respectful even when he was hurting. And Aaron? Well, he's now the most controversial man in Hollywood without saying a single word. As the days go by, everyone keeps refreshing their feeds, waiting for another update, another clue, another twist. But maybe, just maybe, this is where it all settles. Maybe this time, the silence means peace, not war. Because behind every headline, every rumor, every viral post, there are real people trying to heal. And maybe, in the end, that's what this whole story was about. Two people who loved deeply, hurt deeply, and are now just trying to find themselves again.